Ever find yourself scrolling through Instagram and thinking, how did they get so rich?
Yeah.
Well, today we're unpacking a story that might just change your definition of the path to wealth.
Yeah, we're diving deep into the world of AI entrepreneurship with a fascinating guy named Joe Poplus
A 20-year-old who built a near $1 million business
while he was still in college.
while in college.
That's the really crazy part.
Okay, so right off the bat, that's mind-blowing.
What I find so intriguing about Joe's story is that it really throws the whole traditional business playbook out the window.
Right, he doesn't come from like a wealthy family or have these, powerful connections.
No, not at all. In fact, he was working a minimum wage job when he started this whole journey,
Really?
stocking shelves for $11 an hour
From $11 an hour to a near seven-figure business owner
in just 1 year.
in 1 year. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, that's the kind of stuff that makes you want to like take notes, listen closely.
You definitely want to pay attention to this one.
So, so where does it all begin? How does someone go from, stocking shelves to building this AI empire?
It all starts with a fascination for AI, and specifically, his journey took off with GPT-3.
Right, which back then, this AI language model was still pretty new on the scene. I feel like a lot of people probably saw it as this cool tech toy.
Yeah, for sure.
But Joe, he saw it differently, like a potential gold mine.
He did, and that's what set him apart from the beginning. It was his approach to this new technology.
So what was it about his approach that was so different?
Instead of treating GPT-3 as just like a tool, he treated it like a new language to be learned.
Interesting.
He spent hours experimenting with it,
Wow.
pushing its boundaries, really trying to figure out exactly what it was capable of doing.
So he wasn't just focused on the what it could do, but the how and the why.
Exactly. And it was that deep dive, that curiosity, that actually landed him his first taste of success in the AI world.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a consulting gig.
No kidding.
Mhm.
From experimenting with GPT-3 to getting paid to consult on it, that's a fast trajectory.
It really is. And you could almost call it accidental entrepreneurship. He simply had his experience with OpenAI listed on his LinkedIn profile.
Smart move.
And businesses started knocking. Like out of nowhere, companies were eager to pick his brain about this new technology. They wanted to know how they could use it.
He basically became the AI whisperer overnight.
Exactly. And this consulting work, it wasn't just about the money for Joe. It proved to be this incredibly valuable learning experience.
Right.
He was exposed to all these different business models, saw firsthand how even traditional industries were starting to dip their toes into this whole AI world.
Which is kind of what leads us to his big aha moment, right?
Right.
He gets a meeting with this like well-established traditional publishing company.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of, guarding their secrets, they practically hand him a blueprint for success. What was it about their business model that just screamed opportunity to Joe?
They were making millions, selling relatively simple ebooks.
Interesting. So not exactly revolutionary in itself, the concept of ebook.
No, not at all.
But for Joe, it was like a spark.
Yes. He sees this and a light bulb goes off.
It ignited this whole new idea. He instantly recognized the potential of combining this proven business model with his AI skill set.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting.
It's like one of those moments in a spy movie,
Yeah.
where like the secret plans are just accidentally left out in the open.
Right.
But instead of stealing them, Joe takes that knowledge and uses it to build something new.
I love that. It's such a good example of, opportunities being hidden in plain sight.
Totally.
It's not always about, some groundbreaking invention. Sometimes it's about connecting those dots.
Seeing the potential where others they don't even see it.
Exactly.
Okay, so Joe has this like brilliant idea. He's going to fuse AI with the world of ebooks. But did he hit the ground running or were there bumps along the way?
It's like any entrepreneurial journey. There are always going to be challenges.
Oh, yeah.
And Joe's no exception. In fact, he talks about how his very first attempt at writing an ebook, well, in his words, probably the worst book anyone could ever read.
He said that.
He did. He's very honest about it.
I appreciate that because it's a good reminder that even with AI, it's not just like push a button, out pops a bestseller.
No, not at all. There's more to it.
There's definitely more to it. And Joe realized that pretty quickly. He saw that AI could generate text, yeah, but it took human expertise to structure that into a compelling, coherent book.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he had to learn the art of storytelling, the outlining, the refining of the AI's output to really create something special.
So how did he do it? How did he go from AI gibberish to crafting these compelling ebooks? What's the secret sauce?
I mean, he's surprisingly open about it in the interview.
Yeah.
His process, it all revolves around using ChatGPT strategically.
Okay.
He uses it as a creative partner, you could say.
Interesting. So how does that work? So he starts by giving ChatGPT a very, very specific prompt, like create a detailed chapter outline for a book about niche topic.
Yeah.
And then here's the key. He'll meticulously review and refine that outline.
So it's almost like he's training ChatGPT to be like a really, really good outliner, but like tailored specifically to what he's looking for.
Exactly. It's all about that back and forth.
Got it.
And once he's happy with the outline, he breaks it down even further. He'll feed each subtopic back into ChatGPT with a new prompt, something like write a comprehensive section about subtopic focusing on key points.
Oh, I see. So instead of overwhelming ChatGPT with this massive task, he's giving it these smaller, more manageable chunks,
Yeah, exactly.
which probably leads to like way better quality output.
It does, and it gives Joe more control over the content, making sure it aligns with his vision for the book.
Right.
It keeps a consistent voice throughout.
It's like having like an army of ghost raiders at your fingertips.
Right.
But you're the one calling the shots. You're shaping the narrative,
Yes, you're the director.
ensuring that the quality is top-notch.
Exactly. And it's not just about the writing itself, Joe talks a lot about the importance of niche selection.
Okay, yeah, finding the right audience for your book is huge.
It is. He specifically targets niches with a high concentration of what he calls ambitious readers.
Ambitious readers.
Yeah, he's talking about individuals who are actively seeking self-improvement. They're eager to learn new skills. They're willing to invest in things that will help them achieve their goals.
So people who are hungry for knowledge, they want to better themselves.
Exactly. And from a business perspective, it's brilliant.
Because those are the people most likely to buy your book.
Exactly. They're already primed to invest in themselves.
But, with the rise of AI-generated content, how does he market these books effectively? Because it's a noisy world out there. Everyone and their mother is putting out content these days. How do you stand out?
Right. That's the million-dollar question.
It's definitely a challenge to cut through all that noise.
Yeah.
So what's his secret? How's he doing it?
So Joe cracked the code with a platform most people wouldn't expect, Pinterest.
Pinterest.
Yeah.
Isn't that mostly like recipes and DIY projects?
You'd think so, right? But Joe saw its potential, especially for reaching people who are actively looking for information, for inspiration.
Okay, so I can kind of see that. People go to Pinterest to search for things they're interested in.
Exactly. They're not just passively scrolling through a feed, they're actively searching, which makes them way more receptive to a well-placed ad.
So it's like prime territory for like targeted advertising.
Exactly. And that's how Joe uses it. He starts with what he calls consideration campaigns.
Consideration campaigns, what are those?
So before he even writes a book, he's testing the waters. He'll create these really visually appealing pins showcasing a potential book idea.
Oh, clever.
And he tracks everything, like how many people are clicking, how much engagement he's getting. It's a way to gauge interest in different niches before investing a ton of time and energy into actually writing the book.
That's really smart, like market research on autopilot.
Right.
So once he identifies a winner, he knows there's an audience, then he goes all in on creating the ebook.
Exactly. And to convert that initial interest into actual sales, he uses conversion campaigns.
Okay, so from testing the waters with consideration to reeling them in with conversion.
Yes, and these campaigns are laser focused on driving traffic to his landing pages.
Ah, landing pages, the gateway to a sale. So these must be good. What's the magic behind those?
He focuses on providing value right away, building trust, and no distractions.
What do you mean by no distractions?
It's all about keeping people focused on that one goal, buying the book. Every single thing on the landing page, from the headline to the call to action, it all needs to guide the visitor towards that purchase.
He mentioned something about bounce rate being important for landing pages. What is that exactly?
Yeah, so the bounce rate basically tells you how many people are leaving the page without taking any action.
So like they click on the ad, they land on the page, and then they're out of there.
Exactly. And a high bounce rate could mean a lot of things. Maybe they're not finding what they expected, or maybe the page just isn't engaging enough.
So Joe's keeping a close eye on that bounce rate.
Oh, yeah. He's constantly tweaking, testing, optimizing, making sure those landing pages are as effective as they can possibly be.
Always iterating, always improving. He's like the mad scientist of ebook marketing.
Right. But it's not just about the technical stuff. Joe also emphasizes how important it is to provide great customer service,
Right, make those customers happy.
building a loyal following. Because at the end of the day, it's those repeat customers that really make or break a business.
It's much easier to sell to someone who already knows and trusts you. But here's the thing, with AI tools becoming more accessible, everyone and their mother are going to be trying to do this.
Yeah.
How does Joe stay ahead of the curve, stay competitive in a market that's only going to get more crowded?
That's a great question, and he actually touches upon that in the interview. He's already thinking ahead, exploring how to use AI in other creative fields, even experimenting with AI for music production.
Wow, so he's not limiting himself to just one thing, always evolving, always innovating.
Exactly. It's like you said, the only limit is your imagination.
I love that. So to wrap things up, Joe's story is a powerful reminder that we're living in a time where the possibilities really are endless. Who would have thought that a 20-year-old stocking shelves could build a near $1 million business with AI? It really goes to show that with the right mindset, the right tools, and a whole lot of hustle, anything is possible.
Absolutely.
And that's it for today's deep dive. A huge thank you to our listeners for joining us on this incredible journey. If you're looking for more inspiring stories like Joe's, be sure to subscribe to the show and leave us a review. We'll be back next time with another fascinating deep dive. Until then, keep exploring, keep innovating, and as always, keep asking questions.